Welcome and welcome back to the Serendipitous Deck Sermon Series. I'm Megan. Hello. My pronouns are they and she. This is the book. So I decided today I'm not going to do one individual card unless one really yells at me in the middle of this, but there's just so much change happening right now within and in my life and stuff like that, and I'm preparing for big change, and it just not the everyday, what's the word? I don't want to do things as they usually run of the mill, whatever it is. I can't remember the phrase. Yeah. So I'm just doing something. It's going to be shorter, hopefully, because I would like to speak about the deck as it is, because I counted them. I had to divide some of this. I realized that I've been putting ones from the pile that I have read to you guys. I haven't put into this. And so I was able to then identify and organize, because when I've written these down, I then write what's on the back of it as well. So we have Joker, half card, Aviator, King of Diamonds, Red, Jackpot, back. There were two of those, so that was kind of annoying, but I had picked which one it was. And so these are all the ones that I have written in this guy. And there are 46 total. And there's repeating cards, like here's 2 4 diamonds. There's a few kings and a few 10s. There's 2 10 of diamonds in my hand as well. And then, two of clubs. Yeah, I think I was trying to almost like do these in groups at the start. Very interesting backs as well. So we have a MS. Is that Missouri? Horseshoe Casino Hotel. I don't know if that's going to show up. Anyway, yeah. And then this is a Denmark, beautiful Denmark card. I have a Bernese Mountain Dog. Like, there's 2 from a dog deck separately found. There is a golf deck. There is one that said something about Costa Rica on the back of it. And there's another one that is, well, there's Ben and Jerry's cards. There's like Heinz ice cream cards. So 3 different ones from ice cream brands. What did they do in making playing cards? And then, I mean, what is anyone, like, why are you? I am just, and then there's Guinness ones. I have one here that's got, like, Celtic, Man United poster on the back of it. What is that? It's a 5 of hearts. So vintage. One of my favorites is this, like, super faded Queen of Diamonds. That is this on the back. It's just, like, a really nice, satisfying green, especially in its fadedness. And then we know that the 6 of clubs was one from New York because it's so easy to identify specifically. And then I have one with the A sticker from the Vagina Monologues on the back of it from the Freemasons Hall. It doesn't have an address. It has a time and a bar time. Or it doesn't have I said that right. An Ireland card, and yeah, there's the Costa Rica one, which, like, I wasn't in Costa Rica, so whoever has had these and what are you doing dropping one card? Anyway, beautiful little full circle moment was when I bought a trailer off a friend, and it had like been burnt at the back because of a wrong tire that had put on it, and like its past life. And so I rebuilt the bottom and the back wall and the side walls of the back of it so that I could live in it. And I put in a little fire stove, and it was fucking awesome. And in that trailer, after I bought it, I found an unopened full deck of cards, and it was like, yep, full circle, we're here, this is the start of something new. That High School Musical song is just like wired into my brain forever and ever. Anyway, so I figured I would just talk about the deck because that felt good for me to do today. And then on Sunday, I will most likely be on a little vacation away, but it's also like a spiritual getaway. So it definitely feels like a place where this will come back to some sort of fruition. But to be honest, I have been working on something that is slightly connected, but a big project for me. And yeah, it is taking a lot more of my attention and energy. And like, there's not enough time in a day. And I'm still awaiting a full-time job right now to begin. And so 444 when I said that. It's gonna begin! I'm so excited for this work. Sorry. Anyway, just like fill your life with the thing that makes you just very happy. That is what I want to work in. It's what I want to spend my time doing. It's what the project's about. Like, it's not just like snap your fingers easy for everyone to get to. Definitely hasn't been for me. It literally took until I was 34 to go, oh, that's what I want to do. As far as like, I don't know, a career path or like something that I would actually enjoy doing every single day for a really, really, really long time. Because for the most part, my life's been about living and like not work. And if work's on the side and feeds the living, then awesome. And that is kind of the main reason that I've had jobs in general. But like, I'm just so great. I've listened to my intuition over everyone else's thoughts at the same time as being like trained to be from a very young age a people pleaser, like emotionally manipulated into it. And so unlearning a lot of that has been quite the process, but at the same time the Sagittariusness of my chart saved my ass, seriously, like in ways that I am still only beginning to comprehend now. It's also a moment with doing the cards in this way of just like, let's look at like where I have been with them, where we're at right now. I don't know where it's going, but I don't have to know the future. That's for the universe to know. I make the steps in the moment that I'm in. That's the best way forward. But it's felt like that in general because of like coming full circle back to this home, and then the place that I'm going away is like somewhere that I was when I was here before, and lots of long-winded growth moments in a very, very dark time and a very hermity time. Those things are necessary, and I'm very grateful to have had places to be in those where I wasn't, and a job as well that was like remote, where I didn't have to be bothered by anyone, because like I don't know how it would have occurred otherwise, but it has, leading me here. And it's one of those, I don't know if it's, oh yeah, it probably is, because of Aquarius being where the sun, Pluto, and the moon are all about to be tomorrow. I feel like there's another planet up in there as well. But anyway, also Venus is in Capricorn, which is where it was when I was born. And there's a lot of stuff that's coming full circle for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, because that's kind of the nature of the moment that we're in here, where it's like, okay, we've known this shit isn't working for like a while. And I think it got like, I mean, I don't know how the parents before us didn't, but that's, our path is our path. We're here now. And so the people that are growing up right now that are like mid-adults, adults, the change is happening faster. And you know, I really do accredit because I know we all like, oh, the internet has this and that going on and whatever, as if it's some separate entity, as if it's not exactly the way humans act towards each other, except for just online now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a separate thing from us. It is actually a faster and more bring the shit to the top and look at it way of us understanding ourselves. Like, it is a projection within the universe for our existences as the universe trying to like just live life and figure itself out, and all the things that it's trying to do through each of our individual existences to have a way to connect with each other in a much faster way. Because I mean, I had this belief for a long time, but I know the population of the world has fluctuated, so it wouldn't necessarily make sense that it's just happening now, but whatever, things happen when they happen. How I observe it was like, the population got too big, and so, oh god, I forgot about that theory as well. I had this theory that people were born in like bubbles, so like within the entire collective consciousness there's like sections in a way, and so then when you have an idea and someone across the globe has an idea that like has to do with your idea, and then they come together and it makes something and whatever, those people are sharing a section of the collective consciousness with you. Like, they are in a way, I guess, soul family, or I don't really have a word for it. It's more just like a way to explain and understand how these bits and pieces all fall into place, even when these people aren't like necessarily speaking to each other. And like, it's how, you know, things end up in alignment for you because you are starting to see things at the frequency that is like where you're at that moment in time. Therefore, like the song on the radio or the numbers that you're seeing or whatever it is, like these things are within communication to you at all times until you actually are open to that, or on that leg of your journey as a spirit living as a human. You know, it takes all the alignment for the things to occur the way that they have within your life. And it's like, yeah, our low self-value goes past us like also treating each other like shit. There's just this also individual like will to brush off signs, or like look up the numerology and then think about it just as if it's like this one momentary thing. Yeah, I'll go down this path. Okay, sorry, I had this thing occur to me the other day, and so I've had like angel numbers and oracle cards and signs out the yin yang for years and years. And then it like actually hit me. How would I act if an actual angel appeared in my room right now? Because that's something we've heard about, like biblical wise and stuff like that, where an angel appears to people that, you know, don't necessarily believe in them or whatever it is. And so they're scared, right? And they're like confused. And for the most part, I think most people would be like, you're fucking with me. Or like, I'm imagining something. Or no, I'm crazy. Or, right? Like anything to explain away the actual fact that you are watched over at all points throughout this existence. And then however you want to take that is how you're going to take it from your perspective, because I know that some people absolutely don't feel like they've been looked after because we understand it from the point of view of our 3D selves. But like zoom out, this is from a bigger picture of you being like a core and equal part of the entire universe that is experiencing existence. So as much as I understand the way that we currently act as humans towards each other is not fair, there is a bigger part of that, which is like it's rooted in any being treating other beings like crap. There's an issue within that species, and it has a lot to do with our psychology and the way that we are interacting with like our feelings and connection to one another. And if we were very conscious of our connection to one another on the energetic plane, because this is like a fool of, what is it? What was that word in the thing? This is a glamour. To, I don't know, bring the challenge of disconnection or whatever it is, as far as like, that's not for me to explain, for you to figure out for yourself in your own time. But like, we wouldn't be treating, 12, we wouldn't be treating each other this way if we were 100% like conscious and aware and accepting of the fact that we're connected to each other, right? And like also even our own selves. Because if you start to think about like, oh, well, I would never treat someone like this or this or this. Are you treating yourself that way? Why do you think it's okay to treat you that way and only to be kind to other people? Like, you are made of the same stuff they're made of. Love it. Everything that we are. Love this existence. Anyway. And also, like, do what you can to affect the energy plane in a way that brings love to it. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. And so welcome to literally the way that I talk to myself in general. Yeah, that is a question I'm just going to pose to you, and I don't necessarily mean for you to have an answer to it. But like, it felt like a challenge because I was like, you know, for the amount that I see signs, how would I act right now if an angel came? And it was almost like what I was speaking about in the You Matter video, where you could know that, but there's levels of knowing that. And there's levels of the way that you would actually like believe it. And so if whichever angel it is that you're connected to, archangel, spirit guide, whatever wording you want to use for those beings, was literally a human or a being that like wasn't just like a sign you're seeing in a cloud or words that align with something you just said on the radio or whatever it is, like that's not magic enough. Like, it's just, we have this tendency to almost brush it off as if it's like not something to cry and weep over because of the joy of like being that connected, being that heard, being that cared about from the universe. And that's its way of showing you. It's showing like, I'm hearing you, you're one, we're one, like you're mirrored, you're seen here. And it's not always going to come in the exact ways that I spoke about there, because it's going to speak to you in the way that you will understand that. So look out for whatever way it is that calls to you. You know, your body and your gut and your brain, your understanding, your perspective will know all of that. And if it feels right as well, I would say do not hesitate to ask any otherworldly being or entity that you're in any awareness of or feel comfort in to speak to you louder. You're allowed to do that. Like, yeah, there's a lot to do with, I think, the whole externalization of like this singular deity called God, and then a hierarchy within the belief system underneath that creates this kind of like, oh, I must be humble, and I must, like, I'm not important enough, or I'm just a human on the planet, and like, that's the biggest cop-out I've ever fucking heard within our existence, where we call ourselves parasites, etc. If you... There's building going on. I hope you heard that, like, drill fart. I don't know what that was. Oh, they actually haven't been interrupting. It's been happening all morning. Anyway. Yeah, that was actually in a documentary called Origins, which I don't remember a whole ton about now, but it was, like, long, definitely worth it. However, if we continue to, like, speak to ourselves about, like, the general mass of humans, like, saying, oh, we're parasites, guess what that manifests? Continued action in the way of, it's like the same shit as being like, oh, well, I'm just a bad person, so I can't do bad, like, cop out. It's a cop out. Fucking, like, I'm sorry, but you are so loved regardless of how much you decide you're gonna hate yourself or allow other people to make you feel like shit. You're loved. And until you realize that, you will continue to live in a world that shows you back the exact same thing that you're seeing, even in spite of how, and this is one of the biggest things, when you're looking for, like, reflections of your worth in this world, I would not recommend looking to the way that humans treat you as the core way of seeing the reflection of your worth in this world. Unfortunate, but we're not at the point yet where the general public is, like, able to give that to each other yet. Some people are wonderful. Some people are really out here just being love and speaking about mental health and speaking about the importance of, like, knowing your worth, and all different versions of the way that they speak about it is how they've come to it. And so it's like, there's as many as you want to find, in terms of, like, how they're going to speak about it, how it will communicate and translate to you. But, like, for the most part, it's still, like, the shift, which I feel like is what is occurring right now, and, like, will continue to, in a way of just, like, no, we're not believing this shit anymore, because the more that we believe it as a group, as a, like, collective, the more we're going to treat ourselves like this as a collective. And so it may take a few generations for that to be the kind of, like, shifted mindset in a way, but we're making very positive changes. I mean, even the fact that I'm speaking about this, and I'm only 34, but I have, like, literally grown knowing that nothing else matters as much as me understanding exactly why it is that I came here. But, like, I didn't know it as that the whole time, but, like, I've also known, like, there's something much bigger than just my own life. There's more things going on that I am a part of that I don't know the words for. And, like, now I have a lot more understanding and scope for it, where I'm like, yes, I will come back here as many lifetimes as it takes for my existence as the universe and all those who are sharing it at the same time as me to realize we're just, like, let's go, let's do this better for each other. I have a lot of fire energy. But gratefully, I also have a lot of earth energy, which really grounds me into, like, and how are we going to do this? And what is the bigger picture? And how then does that apply in the smaller picture? So, like, I've been primed for it. But at the same time, it's not all one person. And that is a big deal about the whole, like, externalized deity situation with religion, and having there be this hierarchical idea of an externalized God. Because if it's not God, then something is going to be replaced as an external thing that you need to now worship. Celebrities, politicians, stuff, phones, whatever the fuck you think of that makes you happy, that is outside of you, that is fulfilling you, that is outside of you, is a replacement. And it has been used against us again and again by ourselves so that we don't look inward and don't find the fulfillment here first. Yeah. So anyway, I called it the Found Each Other Path deck. It's gonna be backwards probably. So there's 46 of these cards, which is a 10, which is back to 1. And I'm assuming that they're done. Oh, the Queen of Hearts. Did I do that one? The Queen of Hearts I found in Edinburgh. Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Spades. Yeah. I feel like I had a point that I was in the middle of, but I'm not going to go back and find out what it was at this point. I guess I'm going to give any kind of helpful thing outward because it really just felt like I needed to focus on what it is that I wanted to say today rather than what people need to hear. Because, like, I don't know what people need to hear. I know what I might need to hear, and, you know, I can listen into the collective at times, and I know that the cards will have something to say as far as any of that and such, but you know what, we're gonna bring this one back because this is like what I'm seeing is sort of a Gemini cards, and it is one that I did just recently. I was still in Paris, I think, when I did this one because I remember video, but as far as an energy to bring to the table at this current time, because what I was going to say is, with all of this Aquarius shifting, I am like so for transformation, so for change. It is just, in a way, what I am comfortable in. But personally, I have grown into a lot more grounded. Are you done? Okay. A lot more of a grounded version of that, where there's like ways that I now feed my fire without having there be the need of like travel or even specifically distractions such as caffeine or alcohol or weed or tobacco, because all of those have just kind of fallen out of my life in the last while without me trying. Like, I really feel very, I know other people experience this too, because whenever I've tried to quit certain things purposefully, it doesn't necessarily take. And if I just leave it to its course and focus on my like emotional intelligence and spiritual well-being and like fulfilling the things that my intuition is calling me towards, these things just fall away, and I don't feel the need for them anymore, because it's not me focusing on don't do this, because taking away something from me just like totally triggers my like thing against authority, where I'm like, I'm sorry, you have rules. And so but yeah, now, because there's a lot less of like need for distraction and all that kind of stuff, it is a much more grounded version, and it has become one of the most like, I don't like that word productive, but yeah, I'm very excited. I don't like, there's a practice that someone spoke to me about that took me a really long time to get around to, but I am very excited about the project that I am working on. And at the same time, that is all I will be saying about it or calling it or whatever. I am, until it is done, until it's ready, it is only for me. And speaking about things to people sometimes, most of the time in my case, kind of fulfills the need for like, I guess, the attention or the like, oh, good kid, like you're doing something shit that like would make you look like, or yeah, it's just like, oh no, but like I wanted to actually do this thing, but then it ends up not being done because I don't know why. It's just, there's a lot of psychology behind it, and I don't necessarily want to tie it down to one specific thing, because I know other people go through that same shit. But yeah, because change is not something that everyone is comfortable with, is what I was trying to get to. Take it one day at a time. Focus on the moment that you're in. Remember a time, or all the times, when you've been through change in the past, whether it's something that you chose for yourself or something that occurred around you and then you had to adapt to, anything at all, bad or good, how it is that you reacted, responded, in what ways did it help you to adapt, what hindered you, like just observe. This is not an exercise in judging oneself, because change, though in certain ways, yeah, human existence was like built to be able to handle change, etc., etc. That's not where we currently are as a species. So like, you know, before when I said that, yeah, that absolutely is, no, we're not. And at the same time, you know, we're here for a reason. It's not like just because humans before were one way that it's right now for us, etc. You know what I mean? And so yeah, remembering how it was. So then it'll like make it a little bit easier when big change and overhaul thoughts start coming, especially because this sort of thing does take a long time, but it occurs in the little moments. Big change happens with tiny, tiny little changes the whole way along. It's not one big shift. And I think we've been kind of trained to expect like an apocalypse to just like make everything change, as if an external factor comes in and then we will all just as a society act differently. Did it work the last time? I mean, not like it's not in a sense spurred a lot of change, but like we saw in our own lifetimes something massive change that absolutely could be seen as like apocalyptic and like literally life changing, and it was dramatic and it was traumatic and it killed a lot of people and it changed like everything, affected everything. And also, in a sense, exacerbated the places in which we shouldn't be proud of the way that we treat other people and like have our system set up. And so it's in no way the end of that thing's effect on what it is that is going to be a change in the future. But for that, it's also like down to the little changes that continue to happen from that big thing. But it's not like, oh, this thing has come in and it's going to change it for us. It's up to us. Like, you're here right now. So whatever way in which this is, you know, meeting you at, because not everyone has the same capacity or ability or understanding of what it is that I am saying right here, because the changes that we see as being needed are going to be understood from each of our individual perspectives. And our individual perspectives matter so fucking much. Like, all of those perspectives matter. Therefore, what that perspective sees as being missing or needing more of or whatever it is also matters, because that need needs to be met. So does this one. So does that one. Like, it's right. So yeah, never take for granted what it is that you see that maybe other people are not seeing or experiencing as being important. Does that sentence make sense? Anyway. Okay. And so the energy that is being such a pretty top. That I'm not gonna do as far as Reiki, because I'm not in a place to give that today. I swear these people are cycling on water. And there's a gap right here. Like, I can't cycle that close to a big space, but get it anyway. This card is an energy of airiness. It's of remembering butterflies and hope. And it's love, but not necessarily only romantic love just because there's a 2 and there's like people cycling romantically on the back or whatever it is. This is about duality, and it's about balance. And that when you're alone in a room, it's not just you. That sounds creepy. But in the way of like, you're not alone in what you're going through. There is love surrounding you, and you are absolutely deserving of like asking for it from the universe, feeling it in your body, feeling it in your heart at any given time. Actually, now that I say that, there's a good way to. So if you place a hand on your heart and take some breaths, ground, if you would like, you know, connect it to the, either if you do it on grass and such, but in general, what I am going to ask you to do is notice your heart beating, first off. Your heart center is where you are powered from, where your auric field emanates from and to, and it is our heart chakra center of love. And when you've noticed it beating a little while, then start to feel the energy moving from like the unseeable energy, not necessarily blood, not necessarily, physical form energy. This is it moving out from your beating heart to the space that surrounds every bit of your body, every extremity, around your back, up over your head. And just notice, like, you have this beating, living, tangible heart inside of you. And at the same time, what exists in that exact same space is an energy that is not necessarily seeable to everyone's naked eye, but you can feel it. And that is going to grow as you give more notice to it as well. You will become and have a different relationship with your aura, with your body, with your existence. And then how beautiful is it that you feel that for yourself and every other living being shares that with you as well. That beating heart, that auric field, that pulsing energy of existence here and now. That's love. It doesn't have to perform. It doesn't have to do anything other than just know itself. It exists as love. It exists because of love. And so giving it appreciation in this moment for keeping you going and for allowing you to exist in this specific lifetime and this specific timeline. Because my, do we have a lot of power in our hands as you listen to words like these and allow yourself to experience a moment like that. And so even if it's not spirit guides or ancestors or your higher self or angels or any of these words of an actual external, physical or intangible entity that is sharing your journey with you in this moment, there is you, and there's also you. You're not alone. You're a part of this. And I thank you for being here.